All right, we're playing some more 6 Nimmt, also known as Take 5. Again, I'm going to be using a lot of the strategies that I talk about on my website, boostyourplay.com. You can check out the link below, but let's get right into it. Really, the first thing that I always look for is my extremely low and extremely high cards. Don't have anything over 100. This 4 is definitely the most problematic card. You want to get rid of these low cards pretty early on, even if it means taking a bull or two early in the game. So I will just go ahead and undercut all 4 rows, and unless somebody plays a 1, 2, or 3, somebody does play a 1. I would have been fine with taking a bull just to get rid of that 4 because it would become really problematic later in the game when I'm forced to play it. Okay, and I think that I'll use this opportunity to get rid of my 97, targeting this second row. And then after that, I'm probably going to focus on trying to find ways to get rid of at least the 33 and probably the 38 as well. By the mid game, I usually like to have most of my cards or all of my cards below 40 gone and out of my hand. Okay, I think that I will go ahead and play the 33, targeting this third row. It's a little risky, but I think it'll be fine considering, yeah, we'll probably have players targeting the top and the bottom row. You always have to think about how many players are likely to target the row that you're looking at playing on. Okay, so we don't want to risk taking this third row. That would be worst case scenario. So I think I'm going to play the 45 or possibly the 71. The problem with the 71 is that I would worry that somebody undercuts all of these and gets rid of the 61, and then I could end up getting stuck on the third row. So I'm just going to play my 45. And somebody does take that 61. And that's a little unfortunate there. Okay, we're going to use this opportunity to play one of our lower cards again. Because what usually ends up happening is as you get towards the end of the rounds, more and more rows become filled with very, very high cards, and you don't want to get stuck playing anything super low. In this case, we definitely don't want to play the 40 because we're almost guaranteed to take that bottom row. So we're going to play our highest remaining card. And I think this is a good opportunity to play my 40, get rid of a lower card, targeting the top row. And from here on out, we're probably just going to be playing our highest remaining card, except I do worry a little bit about what's going to happen with this third row, but I do think the 75 is the correct call. Okay, and with this 28 remaining here, either somebody's going to undercut it or everyone's going to be competing for the lowest card while undercutting the rest of the rows. So we're going to play our 54. And then we just hope that we don't take this third row with our final card. And it looks like we won't. So all in all, not a terrible first round. Got a little bit unlucky taking one row there, but still very much in the game. We'll just need to stick with it. And again, you see anything, especially between 1 and 10, you want to get rid of that almost immediately. And let's see, someone's going to have a 13. Then it's going to stack the 95, 100, and the 103 here. And then we can play the 104 on our next turn. So we're probably going to want to get rid of one of these two. We'll just get rid of the 74. So we had the most extreme cards that you could have. We had the 1 and the 104, so those are definitely our priorities to get rid of. Okay, so we'll ditch the 104 on the bottom row. Feels good to get rid of that one. And this bottom row is essentially going to be locked for the rest of the game because obviously no one can play above it, and it has enough bulls that no one's just going to want to take it from undercutting. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and continue to get rid of some of my very low cards, at least through the 21. Even if I need to take this 23 from undercutting, it's just one bull, so not a big deal. Okay, and this is really fortunate because then we're going to be able to target the top row with our 15 again. So now this becomes a pretty delicate situation. I need to think through this here. I'm thinking I'm probably going to end up taking a row because I don't have anything close to any of these cards. I think players are more likely to target the top and the bottom rows because of this 55. Players are going to want to avoid that. So if I want to target the 43 instead, I can't target the top. So I'm just going to play my highest cards and hope that it works out. All right, and it did, so that's fortunate. And really, in retrospect, I probably should have played the 96 because in this situation, then I'd be able to play my 97. So that was a bit of a misplay on my part. And again, I think that we just end up playing our highest card here. And it looks like that's going to work out for us. Okay, so these bottom two rows are essentially out of play, although it is possible that somebody decides to pick up this third row with an undercut later on since it's only worth 4 bulls. But I'm going to play the 21, keep getting rid of some of my low cards, targeting the second row. So now we have 3 rows filled with very, very high cards. Probably going to want to hold on to my 82 to be able to undercut all 3 of those rows and maybe this second row in the later hands, but we're going to get rid of the 32, getting rid of our lowest cards while we can. And I think that we'll go ahead and undercut all 4 rows with the 34. I don't want to risk having 3 cards stack up and then I take that whole row with the 82. I can get rid of the 34 right now and only take 2 bulls. I think that that's some good risk mitigation. And then we can play this final card with virtually no chance of taking any additional bulls. Okay, so we're going to end this second round in a comfortable second place behind this green player here. So if we see any opportunities to thrust some bulls upon the green player, we're going to take those chances. So I have no extremely low cards, nothing below 10 or 15, but I also have no extremely high cards. So now I'm going to start looking at ways to increase the variety of the value of the cards that I have. So I'm going to look for cards that are tightly stacked, like this 44, 46, 49. That doesn't give you a whole lot of flexibility, having cards that are so closely stacked together. So I'm probably going to go ahead and play this 44. Although I am tempted to get rid of the 18. The 18 gives me a little bit of flexibility that I might want to hold on to for later in the round. So I'm going to play the 44. Okay, and then we'll target this third row with the 46, and maybe even follow that up with the 49, depending on what else happens. Okay, that plan is out the window. And at this point, most people are probably going to be targeting this bottom row with low cards, possibly even undercutting again to completely reset it. I'm tempted to play the 18, although that's high enough that I'm afraid I'll end up taking the entire row. I can't play anything on the top or the third row, and there's enough bulls in this row that I'm concerned about taking the second row, so I am going to go ahead and play the 18 and just hope that this works out down here. Yep, and it does. And now we end up in a tricky situation where no one can play higher than these two. No one's going to want to undercut. So we want to play the highest card that we have away from this 34, which is an 83. I don't know if that will be high enough to avoid taking a row, but we'll see. We had a player undercut, thankfully. But I'm still going to end up taking this bottom row. Oh, sorry, the second row. So everyone else, they had the same idea. They just had higher cards than I did. Nothing we can do about that. And really, I think that we need to do the same thing here. Playing as high as we can away from the 18. So again, this is why you want to get rid of a lot of your lower cards early, because when you get in these situations, it's always nice to have higher cards. You want your highest card to be higher than at least one other player's highest card. So again, we're going to play the 69. And it looks like I'm finally getting ahead of things here with so all these are getting pretty high. The 69 is not super high yet, but now we're going to want to undercut, but with a higher card. So yeah, I like our chances here for the rest of the round to not take any rows, but we'll see what happens. That's a little close for comfort. So again, everyone's just going to be playing their highest remaining cards. At this point of the game, I usually like to have everything 40 and below gone. But we're scraping by the skin of our teeth right now. And we only take one bull here, so that's definitely acceptable, not a disaster. And it looks like we have moved into the lead this round, so hopefully we can put things away in the third round and keep the lead. At this stage in the game, especially when you're leading, you want to look at the players that have the fewest amount of points, because, for example, this red player has 19 points left. So if I see a chance to thrust some points upon them and help them expedite the end of the game, like make sure that it ends this round, then I'm definitely going to do that. So again, we have very low cards, and this 100 is also concerning. I'm going to start with the low card since I have two of them. And okay, so in this case, it does matter which card that I take. I'm going to take the 80. Well, yeah, I'll take the 89. The important thing was to protect this 6, because I want the 7 to go onto the 6. That way, the next round, I can play my 4, targeting the 3. And now's a good chance to get rid of this 94. So now the question is, do I want to play this 100 targeting this third row. There are quite a few bulls in this third row, so I think I'm going to give it one round, see if there's any players that want to get rid of some cards in the high 90s. If they don't do it on the next turn, on this current turn, then I'll probably feel safer getting rid of my 100 on the subsequent hand. So I'm going to play my highest card, hoping not to take this top row as well. Okay, that looks like that worked out well for us. And again, nobody played on this third row, so I'm going to roll the dice and play the 100, hoping that no one plays anything between it. And that paid off. Very good. Okay, now everything's getting pretty darn high. We have the 75 and the 76. I'm going to play the 75, obviously targeting the second row. If anyone undercuts these, they're almost definitely going to take the second row anyway. And he does. Okay, now again, we're in the situation where all of these cards are very high, so everyone's going to play their highest remaining cards. Unless they have something really low, they might just undercut. But the 76 is obviously high enough that we can avoid having to take a row. Right now, we're really hoping for the light blue or the red player to go ahead and take some additional bulls and finish the game out. Again, barely scraped by there, but I feel good about at least this 46, and then we'll see what happens with the 34. So the red player has to take some bulls, but unfortunately there's 2 rows that have only 5 bulls remaining, so I doubt we're going to see a win on this round. Most games with 5 players take 3 rounds. I think it's pretty rare to see games go 4 rounds. But we're still sitting in the lead here. The green player is our strongest opponent. Okay, let's try to finish this thing out. So we have nothing super high. Definitely want to get rid of probably at least these 3 very low cards. The 5, the 11, and the 15. And I don't think it particularly matters which one we take. Just getting rid of as many of these super low cards as we can. I feel pretty good about really everything from the 46 up to the 89 if we can find a way to get rid of these 4 lowest cards. Okay, we'll play the 30, targeting the second row. There is a little bit of risk here if somebody undercuts. Okay. We are golden. Okay, time for a think here. I think we want to play high. My concern is that our highest card might not be high enough, because we want to stay as far away from these numbers as possible. Obviously the 20 and the 53, and I don't have anything close enough to the 31 to reliably squeeze it in there, so we're going to go with the 89. That 88 is doing me a lot of good here. That was a very precarious situation, so I just had to think about it and get a little bit of luck to work through it. So this row is now pretty much locked. If someone's stuck with 104, then they're almost guaranteed to take that row later in the round. We'll take this opportunity to get rid of some low cards again. And the game will definitely end on this round. You see the red player is now below 0 points, so that will trigger the game end. Just need to try to stay ahead of this green player mostly. Okay, we don't want to mess around with this second row. So again, we're going to want to play our highest card that undercuts the 91. We didn't have a whole lot of high cards to begin with, so that's a little bit concerning. Okay, very good. And then I think that we'll play the 24, targeting this top row. I have a feeling that just about everyone will be targeting the top row with their low cards. We just have to hope that our low card is not the last one to be played on this row. We do have a little bit of wiggle room now. We're 12 points in the lead, so okay, very good. Definitely don't want to play the 68 or the 70 because we're almost guaranteed to take that top row, although it is only worth 4 points, so we're going to try to undercut with the 46. Okay, so it's time for a little bit of math. Really, there's not a whole lot of choice between the 68 and the 70, unless somebody has the 69. But I have a 12-point lead. Even if I take this row, I'm still pretty comfortable. And then I would take it, the row would reset with 68, and then I'd be able to play a 70 on top of it, which is pretty safe. Oh, except, yeah, I didn't think that through. That's one of the tips that I write about, is not to rely on low point value rows. I just forgot my own advice. But it looks like we're going to come out in the clear here. Okay, very good. Again, if you want to read about some more of the statistics and analytics and get a deeper dive into how to approach the game, be sure to check out my post on the link below, and have a good one. Thanks. Bye.